Outside of the massive and iconic skyscrapers of downtown Seattle, when many people think of the Puget Sound area, they think urban sprawl, with one city being connected to another. However, each one of those cities does have its own historic past, and that includes here in Spanaway, which has its own unique past that's being displayed in a recent documentary produced by the Bethel School District.
That there was a great influx of German folk and Scandinavians, and they were buying up these small farms.
I want people to see this and really think about where they live.
Doug Boyles is a spokesman with the Bethel School District who also put together a 22-minute documentary about the rich history of the city of Spanaway, which that district serves.
I hope people will see this. This is the story of the Spanaway community, but there's a story like this in every community around here. When we moved out here, people said, "Where do you live?" And we said, "Well, we live, it's in between Spanaway and Graham," and we called it Spanagram for a while. And then Frederickson became more well known, and so we live in Frederickson. Bethel consists of a lot of these different communities.
Doug spent countless hours going through historic pictures and documents, as well as shooting footage and gathering images for this documentary.
Now that it's done, the hardest part of this documentary was completing it. But since it's done, really looking at what's next.
This is more than just a video presentation about a local community. It's the story behind what brought people to this part of Pierce County and why this one-time farming community has its own unique place in Washington state history, along with an in-depth look at the Bethel School District.
I think it's an appropriate time to look back on where this area of the county has been and the progress, the changes that have occurred over a period of time. And this is a great way of documenting those things for the future.
Like many communities, Spanaway has a historical society documenting the city's past events, but unlike many others, it also has its own unique museum that tells the story of the city's past.
It was mainly farms. And a farming community is a special thing all of its own. And people used to come out here to get away from Tacoma.
Boojee Bowman is the president of the Spanaway Historical Society. She says the documentary brought out strong emotions.
Oh my God, I just cried and I'm ecstatic, and it shows our history and how it can excite other people and let the community know that we're open and available.
In the mid-1980s, the Society was generously granted a historic home that sits on what was once a farm. It was quickly decided that the home and its surrounding property would be preserved and turned into a museum.
So we started work in about 1986 and volunteered. Everything was washed down. All the stuff was taken down. We didn't bother with the Celotex in the ceiling here in the kitchen because this was 1940s era.
So while many would say that Spanaway is just another suburban community in a major metropolitan area, this documentary helps further the belief that that's much to the contrary, a belief that Spanaway isn't just a city.
Spanaway is a destination. It always has been, and we can make it that way again.
For Northwest Now Digital First, I'm Chris Anderson.